Imagine a vast silent desert, a place where time itself seems to stand still. Beneath the shifting sands lie secrets, whispers from a world long vanished. In ancient caves and forgotten burial grounds, the past waits patiently to be uncovered. What if I told you the world's oldest cheese is over 3,000 years old, and it was found buried with mummies? The Xiaohe discovery. Our story takes us to the Taklamakan desert in northwestern China, a place known as the Sea of Death. Vast, unforgiving dunes. The air is exceptionally dry. The ground is saline. These harsh conditions make it an extraordinary time capsule. Here lies a Bronze Age burial ground, the Xiaohe Cemetery, or Little River Cemetery. In 2003, archaeologists began excavating. They uncovered a forest of wooden posts marking hundreds of graves, mummified bodies, naturally preserved by the arid climate. Dated to around 1615 BCE. As they worked, something unusual lay on necks and chests. Small, yellowish, crumbly chunks, no bigger than a thumb. At first, no one was certain. Maybe glue, maybe a medicinal paste, maybe a ceremonial object. The bodies were wrapped in woolen cloaks, wearing felt hats, so perfectly preserved that even eyelashes remained. These lumps were another mystery waiting for modern science. Years later, scientists analyzed the lumps with advanced protein analysis. They were not glue or medicine, they were cheese, the oldest cheese ever discovered, 3,600 years old. How Bronze Age cheese was born. So, how did one make cheese so very long ago without the sterile factories and complex equipment we have today? The answer lies in a beautiful and simple form of natural chemistry. The Xiaohe cheese was not made with rennet, the enzyme from an animal's stomach used in most modern cheese making. Instead, it was a Kefir-style cheese. Milk in a clay pot adding Kefir starter grains, straining curds through a cloth. This method relies on a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeasts, the Kefir starter to ferment the milk. This process is accessible, needs no special technology, and creates food that lasts far longer than fresh milk vital without refrigeration. The process would have been straightforward. Fresh milk from a goat, fresh milk from a sheep, fresh milk from a cow poured into a container, a leather pouch, or a simple clay pot. The Kefir starter culture would then be added to the milk. Left in a warm place, microorganisms consume the milk's sugars, transforming them into lactic acid. The increased acidity makes the milk proteins clump together, forming curds. The result is a thick, tangy, slightly sour product, similar to a very dense yogurt or a soft cottage cheese. These could be strained and lightly pressed into small cakes. This stands in contrast to cheese making in other ancient civilizations. Mesopotamia, evidence of animal rennet. Egypt, evidence of animal rennet. The Romans later perfected cheese making, producing many hard-aged cheeses traded across their empire. But the Kefir method is arguably older and more fundamental. Other ancient cheese discoveries. While the Xiaohe mummies provide the oldest surviving cheese, they are part of a much larger global story of dairy innovation. The human relationship with cheese is far older than this single discovery suggests. To find the earliest hints of cheese-making, we must travel west to what is now Poland. Archaeologists analyzed pottery fragments dating back an astonishing 7,500 years. Using chemical analysis, they found pots perforated like modern cheese strainers contained abundant milk fat residues. Earliest definitive evidence of cheese pushing the timeline back by millennia. Neolithic farmers discovered a revolutionary way to process milk. By turning it into cheese, they could preserve calories, protein, fat. It also made milk digestible for a population that was largely lactose intolerant. Fermentation breaks down much of the lactose, making nutrients available to adults who could not otherwise consume it. This innovation was a game changer, allowing dairy farming to flourish and helping to fuel the expansion of agriculture across Europe. The evidence is not as dramatic as a physical piece of cheese, but it is written indelibly in the very clay of their cooking pots. In ancient Egypt, murals in the tomb of Tums depict cheese being made and offered to the gods. The story of ancient cheese does not end in a museum display case. It is a living history. The techniques pioneered by our ancestors are still very much alive today. All across the world, in small villages on family farms, cheesemakers continue to use methods that a Bronze Age herder would recognize. The tradition of making kefir, for example, has been passed down through generations in the Caucasus Mountains, where people still use the same kind of starter grains to ferment milk in skin pouches in wooden buckets. Many contemporary cheesemakers are turning away from industrialized processes, choosing instead to celebrate the slow, natural magic of fermentation. They work with raw milk, rely on native microbes from their local environment, and age their cheeses in natural caves, allowing each wheel to develop a unique character, or terroir, proof that the best ingredients are simple, and that time and patience are the most important tools of the craft. Our journey began in the silent sands of the Taklamakan desert, has taken us across continents and through millennia. We have traveled from the mysterious boat-shaped graves of the Xiaohe people to the workshops of modern artisans. We have seen how a humble food, born of necessity, became a cornerstone of culture, trade, ritual. The discovery of that 3,600-year-old cheese is more than just a record-breaking find. It is a profound lesson in connection. Placed with care, they were a provision for eternity, a symbol of care and a testament to remarkable skill. From Poland to Rome to today, the story of cheese is human innovation unfolding across the globe. Food is the thread that binds the human family together across the ages. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.